Hello, folks, and welcome back. This is another day of Advent of Code. I'm Liz the Gray, and I'm excited to be hosting the stream again. This is my fourth year in a row of streaming Advent of Code, and this also is, I believe, let's check the events tab. This is the seventh Advent of Code. So now I can officially say that I have been streaming Advent of Code for more than half of the years that it's been run, which is really exciting. So what we're going to be doing today is the fourth puzzle in the series, which unlocks in 11 minutes, and I'm pretty excited. We had a little bit more difficult of a puzzle on day 3 than day 2, and probably what we can expect today is a puzzle that takes about, anywhere between 10 and 40 minutes, depending upon whether the difficulty is staying about the same or whether the difficulty drops back down to give people a little bit of a break in case they're newer to coding and got a little demoralized by yesterday. Definitely was a little bit more of an intricate puzzle than days 1 or 2, which were a little bit more procedural and straightforward. This one was like you were implementing a algorithm, but it involved bit banging and other things that someone who is a little newer might not necessarily know. So yeah, with these 10 minutes, I figure I'm also going to be having a quick look at the Golang type parameter / generics proposal to get an idea of what's going on there. And yeah, I might just go ahead and chit-chat with people and see how people's days were, see whether people are looking forward to the weekend, hope everyone's having a good time. But yeah, that's what I have queued up for today. Let's go ahead and create my template, and do the other things that I want to take care of. Data4.input. So we'll just do that. And we will clear this out of the way. All right, so that's ready to go pretty much. I had a little bit of an interesting workday. I wound up looking at some code, which actually it turns out my coworkers had profiled it about maybe a month or 2 ago, and were like, this seems like a giant pain to fix. But since it was my code that I wrote, I decided I was going to clean up my mess. So I figured out how to clean it up while I was in the shower earlier today, and I just put the pull request together. It took me half an hour, and yeah, turns out when you're the one who originally wrote it, the code makes sense to you, and also it feels a lot more of a I must get this fixed because this is not tolerable to just leave. Hi, Amtra5, nice to meet you. Cool. Well, we've got a couple of minutes while we wait for the puzzle to unlock, so let's go ahead and keep on reading the Go generics proposal, and maybe one of the things I'm thinking about is when I was looking at the code that I'd written, I realized that I could have probably used a Go library that handles a tree hash map. But I didn't use it because then it would involve manipulating raw objects and casting them around, because at the time that these libraries were written, there were no Go generics. So it might be fun to write a library of that kind that implements a tree hash map or a linked list hash map using generics. So that might be a fun thing to get up to if we have got some extra time. Do I use vSphere? No, very much no. We are not a enterprise shop at all. Interestingly enough, we have only just started using Kubernetes, which is exciting. Do I have kubectl installed? I do not have kubectl installed. Let's go ahead and do that. I have kubectl installed in my other machine, just not in this one. So yeah, we're just starting to use Kubernetes, but we mostly have been just using regular raw bog standard AWS VMs. Okay, so if I run, it's going to be like, who's your current Kubernetes host, which is correct. let me just quickly off screen log on to AWS and get myself some EKS credentials. Nice thing about security is that we'll find out whether today is the day that generics become useful. Okay, now I should be able to, let's see, where is our document that describes how to do this? We've got a document on how to get your Kubernetes credentials. Kubernetes tools setup. Yep, that's the one. Okay, so make sure I'm in fact logged in. Yep, I am. Great. So this should work. Okay. So now that should work. Oh, I'm pretty sure I've got the, I see, right. Let's see, namespace is, we've got a namespace, I think. Can I get namespaces? Yeah, there we go. Ah, okay, great. That does what we expect. Yep. Cool. Okay, so yeah, we manage some portion of our infrastructure now in Kubernetes. But yeah, no vSphere here. Sorry. Cool. 4 minutes on the clock, so I guess we're going to continue reading through the type parameters proposal. Yep, square brackets. Yep, so we talked about doing constraints based off of interfaces. Oh. Wait, is any being added as a general purpose name for interface? Is that also happening? All right. And changes backwards compatible. No change in consensus. So except, okay, so now interface, any becomes interface. Cool. Oh, and then people were like, oh my god, but what if someone called their variable any? Oh no, that would be terrible. The reason for acceptance is in here. All right. Right. Neat. Okay, cool. Well, that's exciting. I look forward to having any like we do in TypeScript. 2 minutes. So I need to not spend too long getting into this. Function can take more than one type parameter. Okay, yep, this follows the standard format. What happens if you have more than one? I guess it's the same as declaring a variable. You just, Cool. Well, that's exciting. All right, let's go ahead and get ready to do the puzzle. Okay, will this finish in less than 2 minutes? Well, actually, it doesn't really matter because I usually like to read, comprehend, and post. I like to actually understand what the puzzle is before I start working on it, and even if I don't, I'll just use my editor. It's fine. still have a perfectly working terminal window over here. Excellent. Well, good luck to people who are off going to do this on their own in a moment. And I am looking forward to those of you who are sticking around with solving this with you all. And if you're interested in the source to my solutions, github.com/LizTheGray if you want to look at how I've solved previous days. Hello. Enjoy. Good luck, Nathaniel. Just make sure no one has tweeted anything at me. Nope. Okay, cool. All right, so we've got a day 4 input coming up, and we should have a, less than 2 minutes to build a Go bootstrap, or to build a Go toolchain. That's not too bad. Glad to know that this system is still reasonably beefy. The other thing I discovered is that the core configuration of this is literally the same as the Graviton 1 chip from Amazon, that it's literally equivalent power to an A1.metal instance, which I think is cool. And it's just what's powering this on my desktop. All right. One and locked. Let's have a look. Oh, we've got a giant squid that wants to play bingo with us. So that's the order of things in which the numbers are drawn. Yep. And then finally someone gets bingo this way by getting it all at the top. Yep. Score of the winning board, sum of all n-marked numbers on the board, multiply the numbers just called. Okay, figure out which board will win first. Okay, great. So we can predict the future. We know what the sequence of numbers being called is. Okay. I understand how to parse this. So basically we need to parse this 2 digits at a time because it's nicely been formatted for us. So let's go ahead and paste this in here and make sure that we got a complete input, because last year I got bitten by an incomplete input and it caused me to feel very terrible. So now every single time I do this, I make sure that I have a complete input. Okay, let me think more about how I'm going to interpret this. So first line is comma separated. And then after that, we've got sets of 5 by 5, and then a set of new lines, and then 5 by 5, and then a set of new lines. Okay, cool. So now that we've thought through the puzzle before we did anything, let's go ahead and do this. So this is the first puzzle where I really really need to have separate functions to do each thing, or else the code will very rapidly become unreadable. So always define your data structures first, and think carefully about them. So we want a board which is a struct. Actually, no, it's not a struct. It's just going to be a 5 by 5. Is it just a 5 by 5 thing? No, it is not, because there are going to be numbers on it that are marked that will help us with the evaluation. Okay, so numbers is going to be a 5 by 5 array. And we also will have a marked. Marked is going to be a 5 by 5. There are not that many boards. I'm not super worried about like representing this memory efficiently as like a as a bit array. So okay. And then yeah, that'll do. Okay. So now I think these things, because they're fixed size, they don't need initialization. So we're just going to take a set of instead of raw lines. Okay, so let's see. So I, in fact, can't do this way. We're going to do something like this. So we're going to start from 2. My cursor's jumping all around because I keep mashing the wrong key because I'm too excited. Okay, so called is going to be so split index 0. This is going to contain the list of called numbers, like so. So we just need to do this. Okay, and for all right, I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so let's iterate over this just to make sure this looks fine. Let's ignore errors, it's probably fine. Conv 8I of n. Okay, that looks good now. Okay, so I is going to plus equal 6 each time. I think that should do it. So we're going to run make a list of boards. I love that we are creating quotable things. Hi, Eric. How are you doing? So boards equals append boards parse board of split I colon I plus 5. I think that should do it. Yeah, that looks right. So, and then after that, let's just print called and print boards just to make sure that it looks fine. Okay, so now, something like that should do the trick, and now I have to be careful here. I can't actually use the range construct here because I need to increment by 3 each time. Okay, so let's think about how to do this carefully. Pause is 0, pause is less than length of line, pause plus equals 3. Okay. Let's just pull up and go playground really quickly. I just want to triple check that I'm doing this correctly. I just want to be absolutely crystal clear that this is fine, because I don't want to have random off by 1 shit. Okay, yep. So if I put in 2, I get 2 entries. Okay, so that's correct. Okay, good. So n is going to be strconv a to I of L index pause to pause plus 2. Because every entry in this bingo board has 1 or 2 digits. Okay. So now I can actually, I hate using X and Y. Those get me confused. I'm going to use R and C for row and column because that is easier for me to understand. Okay. And that also lets me write fun little lines of code that read, for instance, C++. Okay, cool. So now let's go ahead and set B index R index C is, I believe diagonal bingos are allowed. Let's see. No, diagonals do not count. Okay, this is why we read. Great. B, R, C is N. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and run this. Or did I do this wrong? Oh, struct. And line 36 has a syntax error. Oh, yeah, missing one of those. Okay. And line 37. Oh, yeah. B numbers rows. Okay, and return. All right, so just to make sure, the last thing should read 22, 71, 26, 32, 99. That's correct. And let's also make sure, yep, the 0 parsed correctly, and the wait, which one is that? 34, 0, 31, 21. Oh, that's a bug. That should be 21, 3. I think. Yeah, that should read 21, 3, but instead it reads 21, 0. So we have a problem. The next line is 23, 96, 49, 51, 11. Okay, so that definitely is buggy. Okay, what did I do wrong? How did I get that wrong? Okay, now we need the error check. All right, so now we need to see this. Oh, okay, so single digits are not parsing correctly, so we need to deal with trimming. Okay, this is why we check these things. Okay, if L of pause, I guess I could use strings trim as well. Trim. Yep. So that'll work fine. It's marginally less efficient, but I don't really care. Okay, so that should do the trick now. Where did I put error in? Okay, now I don't need this. Okay, so now let's check that that looks correct. 34, 0, 31, 21, 3. Oh, I guess 0 must have worked because it defaults to 0 anyways. Okay, cool. All right, so now I've got working input parsing. I'm reasonably confident in that. So let's go ahead and now write a function that will parse whether I have bingo. something like this. Okay. So if we find nothing, then return false. But now we need to check both for vertical and horizontal bingos. And we're going to want something like this. Okay. That seems to be pretty straightforward to me. And yes, Eric, you were correct. You were correct that let's not error check bit me in the rear, but fortunately I caught it pretty early because I was actually looking. Let's see. If it's always B numbers, or no, not numbers. If B marked RC, if not marked BRC, then we continue. Or, no. Then we continue our... Same thing here. If not B marked RC, then continue rows. Okay, that seems to basically do what I would expect. All right. So now we just also need a function to Hi Anthony, how are you doing? Wow, that was fast. Wait, aren't you supposed to be solving this in SQL, Anthony? Like, how did you solve this in 15 minutes with SQL? I don't believe that this is possible. Either that, or I am just really freaking slow, which is fine. I'm okay with being really freaking slow, but this says marked, not marked, so I'm good. That's fair. That's fair. What we're going to do is this. I'm going to pop open the problem so that anyone joining us late can read what the problem is. Okay, so do numbers repeat on the same bingo board? No, they do not. Numbers are chosen at random. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that numbers are unique. Otherwise, it would be ridiculous. Okay. We're just going to go through. If B numbers are C equals B, then B marked RC is true. And we can in theory bail, but I'll just be thorough anyways. All right, so now we can go through this super quick. So for I think I called it numbers here, or no, called, great. And it doesn't ask me for which iteration, it doesn't ask me how many times it has happened, it just asks me for the sum of numbers on the board and the number that was just called. Okay. Excellent. So let's go ahead and iterate through this. We're going to mutate the boards actually as we go along because I feel like doing this is better. Okay. So in fact, let's actually do it this way. This will make my life easier. makes sense. So for words, mark and all of them are marked simultaneously, but only one board will win, I'm assuming. Let's just read through this. There are no boards. Score of the winning board can be calculated. Okay. If the bingo. Okay. No, I used private functions for this. That's fine. If B bingo, then we just terminate early. So we're going to score it with call. Okay, so now I just need a function to score. And that's going to return an integer. And this should never happen. Okay, so now so it's the sum of all unmarked numbers. If not be marked RC, then sum plus equals B numbers RC. Return sum times final. Okay. So I did not have a winner, so that means that I have a bug. Okay, let's just read through my code one more time, and then we will see what we did wrong. So we've got valid boards. So either I am not marking correctly, or I'm not checking bingo correctly. Thing I should check is that I parsed the bingo list correctly as well. So let's just quickly check this. Okay, so my list of calls looks correct, and it ends in 80. Yep, that's all right. So I think my bingo detector is wrong. So this is going through in a given row, column by column, and checking to see whether that row is a bingo. And if it gets to the end of all of the columns and all of them are marked, it should return true. Similarly, to check columns, going through columns, yep, and if we find one that's not marked, then we know that that column is no good. Okay. So let's just take the first board and print it out, and let's also use the simple input. So we're going to feed in this as the simple input, just to make sure that all of our logic is working correctly. Cool. Inputs, day04 simple input. Okay, yep, that looks like a correct list of calls. So let's just follow which numbers are marked as we go along. So when 24 is drawn, which we know is the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? Let's just print the state of the board. Let me just also make sure I never did CR by mistake. No, I did not. Okay, good. Okay. So, oops, that's a mistake. I did not mean to do that. All right, so let's print out how we're doing at each step. So after each call, let's print out for the first board, for the 0th board, how we're doing. So let's just print. So let's go ahead and print M if it's marked, and otherwise print a space. Cool. And then, oh, and this needs to be actually in the opposite order. Okay. Whoa. Oh, we're not actually marking anything. That is what I infer from that. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Okay. So what's happening? v.mark. Oh, I hate this. Freaking hell. I'm a little bit mad. I see the error that I have made. The mark function modifies the board, and therefore it has to take a star board. Everything else is read-only. Okay, that was annoyingly simple. Like, I bet this is going to work now. Yep. That yields 4512. Yeah, okay. Well, now I feel immensely silly. Okay. So now I can just run this on my regular file. Yields a value. Let's feed this in. And that's correct. Wonderful. Figure out which board will win last. If you were to keep playing as this played, which board will win last? Okay, great. So we can just do this again. Okay. We're just going to do it this way. Not true. Bool. And okay. So now B1 continue. if bingo and let and winners okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, now I understand how Anthony finished so quickly. Cool. Okay, that seems like a perfectly reasonable function. Let's just go ahead and run that now. Oh, I used single equals instead of double equals. Oh, and that gets the current call. Line 55. Oh, it's not a function. Yep. All right, that should do it. That's not the correct answer. Okay. Oh, we want to let the giant squid win. Okay. The second board, yep, is last to win. Which one wins last? Okay, what's my bug here? Let's run it on the simple input to see whether it passes the smoke test. So obviously it does not pass the smoke test, so that tells me that this is a bug that I can trivially detect by just iterating through the part B logic. Okay. If B is 1, continue. And then we continue playing if it hasn't won yet. If this one is the last one to win, I'm not repeatedly calling. Yeah, because dot bingo. Oh. Just make sure that my bingo function is working correctly. Yeah, that's correct. I'm marking it as 1 if it's 1. Let's just see how many boards win on each turn. Oh, yes, bingo should be taking by pointer. Thank you. Yeah, that is maybe a lesson to... Oh, I have that problem, and I also have the problem that I have mutated the boards and I need to reset the state. So I have 2 problems, yes. So in fact, let's do it this way. This way I don't have to keep track of the 1 variable. That feels janky and silly. So let's just do let's just do it this way. If 1 index b index I continue. be bingo, then 1I is true, and if length of 1 is equal to length of boards, yep, okay, so now that's fine, but we do need to reset the state, which means that we have to, again, do this. So we have to parse the input a second time. Okay, now this should work. 50, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, so now I get 1924 as I expect. Oh, that was just maddeningly silly. Okay, that's correct. And cool. I guess I could also iterate until the I guess I could iterate until we're out of numbers as well, if I were afraid of that. So let's cover that case as well. Also, let's just actually wait. Yeah, so I guess the way to address this is to say I would have to keep the order in which the boards won and then just pop off the end. Yeah, I feel fine. Cool. All right. Excellent. Why did... Oh, I see. It's because I have this file open. Okay, that's now gone. All right. Let's go ahead and have a look at this. That seems perfectly reasonable. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. So let's go ahead and commit it. And we'll go ahead and send the streaming love over to someone else. Let's see, who shall we who shall we raid? Who shall we raid? Let's go ahead and raid Where is X? So I will see you all over there in a bit. Thank you very much for joining me.